We feel honored to have Mr. Aditya Menon with us today at the AMU LitFest 6.0. A political journalist for over a decade, he has worked with India Today, Rajasthan Patrika and NDTV, and is currently the senior political journalist editor at The Gwent. Sir, the entire student body of Aligarh Muslim University welcomes you to Aligarh.
Thank you.
So, can I start asking you questions? So, you just attended the AMU Literary Festival 6.0. You talked about so many things. What do you think the students who are here today listening to you, what do you think that they should do as Muslims or as a minority to establish a stand so that people actually listen to what they have to say?
So I think a part of that they have already done. Students from AMU were at the forefront of one of the biggest movements that this country has seen, the anti-CA protests. They braved all kinds of threats and violence to take part in that movement. So in that sense, I can't really offer any advice to a section that is already at the front lines of this struggle. But yes, of course, I mean in the long-term sense, probably greater engagement in politics, active politics, greater engagement in fields like law and journalism and activism. I think these are fields in which obviously a great deal of what is important will be fought. But even those who are not part of these fields, I think if they just remain politically conscious, help out their brethren in some way or the other, and keep voicing their political concerns, I think that itself is enough. And obviously जो एक इत्तेहाद और रखना चाहिए और जो किसी भी किस्म की प्रॉब्लमेटिक डिस्कोर्स से बचना चाहिए वो तो करना ही है. तो ये कुछ बेसिक चीज़ें हैं.
जी सर शुक्रिया. Sir, you have been awarded the Delhi Minority Commission Media Award in 2019. What do you have to say about the repercussions faced by the advocates of minority rights in India?
It's obviously, I mean, it's the talking about any space for speaking about minority rights or communal atrocities or hate crimes is shrinking. We have activists who are under arrest, we have journalists writing on these issues who are under arrest. So obviously it's become increasingly difficult to take up these issues. However, obviously, as you know, the entire the narrative which came about the CA protest, सब याद रखा जाएगा. So we have to document. We have to document and show the world whatever is happening. Maybe not now. Maybe someday this might lead to a pushback and lead to some kind of an address of all the injustices that are happening. So yeah, in whatever यानी हमारे हाथ में जो भी ज़रिए हैं उनके ज़रिए उनके थ्रू हमें ये बात आगे पहुंचानी है, उनके थ्रू हमें चीज़ों को डॉक्यूमेंट करना है. मीडिया अगर हेट क्राइम नहीं डॉक्यूमेंट करती है तो इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया, सिटीजन जर्नलिस्ट, इंडिविजुअल्स को जाके डॉक्यूमेंट करना पड़ेगा, केसेस को पुश करना पड़ेगा. यही है.
And also we were talking about the Indian political landscape. So as a political journalist for so many numerous years, 12 years as you said on the stage, so what are the major changes, the negative changes that you have observed, maybe in the something that the normal citizens have maybe failed to notice?
So for instance, एक जो शुरुआत में जब करियर शुरू किया था तो तब एक राइट्स बेस्ड अप्रोच की बात की जाती थी ना. राइट टू इन्फॉर्मेशन आया था, रूरल एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी, तो एम्प्लॉयमेंट को भी एक राइट की तरह पेश किया गया था. अब वो राइट्स को एकदम से चेंज करके इट हैज़ बिकम गवर्नमेंट के लार्जेस्ट हो गए कि यानी जो हुक्मरान हैं वो आउट ऑफ देयर ओन जनरॉसिटी देंगे, तो वो राइट्स जो लोगों के हुकूक को एक तरह से श्रिंक कर दिया गया है. ये चीज़ नोटिस नहीं हुई है. दिस इज़ I mean, this is besides all the anti-minority acts that have been happening. The second is any kind of any kind of pro-poor politics, any kind of politics that is targeted at oppressed groups, be it Adivasis, be it Dalits, be it minorities, उस किस्म की सियासत ख़त्म सी हो गई है। वो एक दूसरा बहुत ही नेगेटिव चेंज आया है। तीसरा ये है कि सरकार को क्वेश्चन करना, सरकार की नीतियों को क्वेश्चन करना, उसको एक एंटी नेशनल या सेडिशियस टोन से लिया जाता है, जो किसी भी जमहूरियत के लिए बहुत ही ख़राब बात है।
So हम लोग सरकार को क्वेश्चन करने की, we are talking about that. So like how fragile do you think is the state of the opposition? Like right now, how fragile is it?
Obviously, they are numerically weak. They are also financially weak. If one sees, there are no official data because of electoral bonds. There is complete lack of transparency when it comes to political funding. But at least one or two estimates say that the ruling party has more funds than the next four parties put together. So this is a very, very worrying state of affairs. That the opposition is financially also being starved of resources. Then elections will not remain a level playing field.
So do you think, like you're saying that the opposition is being starved? So do you think that the ruling party has a part to play in this?
This electoral bonds it creates a great deal of opaqueness, and through which corporate funding at very large scale can be given to the ruling party. So obviously this is an electoral bonds was created by the current ruling party. So obviously they have had a very major role in this matter.
And what do you have to say about the homogeneity in the principles of the opposition and the government, in the current scenario?
There is some homogeneity, not so much because of any fault of the opposition, but just because the entrenchment of the ruling party's ideology, that the opposition is unable to move out of the terms of debate created by the ruling party. I don't think there's anything conspiratorial that the opposition also is as biased as the ruling party. I don't think that is the case. But yes, I think they are weak, and as a result, they are unable to provide a counter to the ruling establishment.
Okay. So, the next question. So, what are your views on communal power sharing? In a diverse country like ours, we have there are a lot of countries like UAE and Singapore among others who share communal power. So, what are your views? Can India ever do that?
I don't know if they can do that, but it's not a bad model. I think representative democracy is a good way of providing checks. And for instance, in Kerala, we had at least whenever the Congress-led alliance was in power, there was positions were divided on the basis of both religious community and caste, and it was a very accepted model, which sort of maintained a balance between communities. Obviously it's not an ideal model, but it does provide some kind of a balance of power. Similarly, in Punjab, every party has to take along the Sikh community, the upper caste Hindu community, and the two sects of Dalit communities in Punjab. So in that sense, Punjab also manages that equation well. Unfortunately, in other states, that's not happening.
So, do you see any substantial opposition emerging in the coming years in India?
So there is the ground situation is there for any opposition force to exploit. There is a huge economic distress in the country. People have suffered immensely during the COVID wave. People may not blame the COVID wave on the current government for whatever reasons, but it doesn't nullify the fact that there has been immense suffering. The price rise is affecting people greatly. There is a lack of jobs. Even within those who have jobs, there is a loss of income. So yes, the conditions are all there for any party to exploit. But unfortunately, the opposition is either too weak or lacks focus to sort of take advantage of this situation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
thank you for coming to the LitFest, AMU LitFest 6.0. Sir, how did you feel like being a part of this? I know this is your second time. How was
This
your
was
experience?
overwhelming. This was really, I had to come to an institution with such a rich legacy and that to be part of one of its biggest student-led festivals. Obviously, it's a huge privilege. It's extremely humbling and overwhelming for me. And I'm really grateful to the Literary and Debating Society for calling me, and for also for the very engaging discussion that took place. I mean, some excellent, very engaged and aware questioning from the students. So it's really a privilege to be here at AMU.
We are overwhelmed as well, of course. It is our honor, sir.
Likewise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.